Right, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Waharakah Kodash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I honor to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And I want to talk about the mark of the beast. All right. As the time is closer, it's becoming more and more clear. Like I was saying at camp, when I first was taught about the mark of the beast by the apostles and elders, all the technology and all the different infrastructure that you see that they've built up in 2024 wasn't around back then like that. We've seen the infrastructure for the motb get rolled out, and it's something that we like to focus on in the algorithms that me and the elder Ariella do. All right, because this is a real thing. This is, the mark of the beast isn't something that's going to manifest like manna from heaven. Just going to manifest out of the sky. It's a real undertaking. It's something that is going to happen physically. And in order for it to happen physically in the real world, it needs an infrastructure. Any governmental undertaking has an infrastructure attached. When the decree was given out by Augustus, I believe it was Augustus Caesar, to tax the whole world, he can only do that because there was an infrastructure in place to do so. There was roads, there was tax offices, there was tax officers, there were carts in order to transport the money, and so on and so forth. Any undertaking must have an infrastructure built in order for it to be performed. Even if you go to war requires infrastructure and resources. It can't just happen, I'm going to war, and it just happens like that in a millisecond. There's a preparation for war. There's a preparation for taxation. Okay, so there has to be a preparation for the MOTB. There has to be an infrastructure. And so a lot of times we focus on that. So if you go to Revelations 13 and 16, it says, and he causeth all, right? The he being this man's power structure, beginning with their governments, because the government is the only power within the land that can cause all, that can do a decree, a mandate for all. All right, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now we've gone over the specifics of the mark 1,000 times. The word there is charagma, which is something inserted, which is what the chip is. The chip is cut into you. All right, using a needle, they cut into your flesh and place it within you. All right, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. All right, so this thing is going to be a management of commerce, a management of transactions, right? Save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it's a number of a man, and his number is 666. All right, which this man's identity system is based around those numbers. Now, when I look at this undertaking of the management of buying and selling, where you can make it where you can control all the buying and the selling. So we know that there has to be a financial infrastructure about that. All right. So what I wanted to do is just quickly go through the different infrastructures that you see that they deem necessary for this system. So the first part of that system is RFID. All right. That's why you have the implantable RFID chip, but it begins with the RFID itself, the technology. All right, radio frequency identification. Now, we know famously Nate Satan said that radio identity is only for tracking location, which it can be used for that. It says RFID offers advantages over manual systems or use of barcodes. And just so you know, any system that utilizes QR codes can utilize RFID because it's the same thing. It's interchangeable. All right, the same information you can store on the RFID chip, you can store in a barcode, and you can also store um in a QR code. All right, and you go to any of these big companies, and they'll tell you that they can transfer QR code over to RFID and vice versa. Okay. They said the tag can be read if passed near a reader, if even if it is covered by the object or not visible. All right, so we sure understand what a tag is. Come and read this now. On the uses, you have access management, so you can utilize RFID technology to control the movement of people, which is in itself a transaction. All right, so the access management, so you're identified, permissioned to access, like your car or you know your house. All right, so on and so forth. The tracking of goods, so you can place these RFIDs in all products, all things, which is what it's all about, the Internet of Things. You got the Internet of Things, and the next stage after that, they call it the Internet of Bodies, where your human body, the fourth industrial revolution, is connected with the infrastructure that's already been built, which is the Internet of Things. The tracking of persons and animals. So that's what Nate tried to say was the only use of RFID. But if you either just read one more line, it says toll collection and contactless payment. So a payment system. So RFID can and is being utilized ubiquitously within the payment system. That's why Visa and MasterCard have basically gone contactless. So pretty much the majority of the world now is moving over to contactless payments, like, and away from cash. That's to prepare their infrastructure for the motb system. All right, you go into the like in London now, you could go pretty much anywhere, and everybody has one of these mobile RFID readers, and you can even take payments through your phone via RFID. Your phone can be an RFID reader to take payments as well. All right, machine readable travel documents, smart dust, sorry, locating lost airport baggage, timing sport events, tracking and billing processes, monitoring the physical state of perishable goods. All right, so commerce, and they show you how it's commerce, retail, self checkout, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so, and they're building this up through all the systems, right? The passport, the e-passport, which is like a form of digital ID. All right, so we have that here in the UK already. Digital passports, where your passport contains a chip which has all your biometric data on there, which is basically what they're going to put within you and connect it into the CBDC system and all the other systems of government, like a driver's license and all these different things. It's all going to be on one system. So the next thing I would want you to research is something called ubiquitous ID. Now, the term ubiquitous means everywhere. So what they've done is they've built up a system where RFID readers and writers are pretty much throughout all society. All right, so ubiquitous radio frequency identification is the idea that RFID technology will become an integral part of daily life by identifying objects at a low cost and without line of sight. All right, and then so you've seen that throughout the society, RFID has become more and more ubiquitous. That's laying the groundwork and the infrastructure for the motb system, which is a system based upon the interconnecting of things, right, including you through the chip that's in your hand. All right, sensor networks and all that kind of stuff. So that's that. Look that up, ubiquitous RFID. Now, another thing you're gonna need, which we're seeing again, if you look at the way society has gone, everything has a computer attached now. Ubiquitous computing. This was a necessary infrastructure. All right. So ubiquitous computing is a concept of software engineering, hardware engineering, and computer science, where computing is made to appear seamlessly anytime and everywhere. Because the system of slavery, which is what it is that they're setting up with the motb, is a system where they want to be like the Most High. They want to be able to be everywhere. They want to be all seeing and all knowing. And so they're using technology to achieve that. But in order for the technology to achieve that, the technology has to be everywhere. It has to have eyes and ears everywhere. That's why everything has microphones, everything has cameras, everything has sensors, because they want all that information about you and what you're doing and what's happening. So all in your house, there's nothing but computers in the fridge, computers in your car, computers in your TV. Everything is computing. It's ubiquitous. Everything is sensing all the time. All right, they can know what you're saying, what you're saying, like what you're doing, what you're using, like because everything's smart kettles, smart iron. You know what I'm saying? Ubiquitous computing, right? Because your every activity is also a way of buying and selling through what's known as the carbon footprint. And the carbon footprint is going to be monetized. It's going to be part of your monetary system. So that's how it ties everything in. So how much you're using your kettle, how much you're using this, how much you're using that. It's all going to be caught part of buying and selling, because it's going to be part of commerce, because you're going to be taxed on it. All right. Or should I say rationed on it. So you got ubiquitous computing. That's something that you could look up and see for yourself. The infrastructure being built around you. AI, because if you're gonna have all this computing information, right, you need to have something, not people, because it ain't gonna work with people. You need to have something that's gonna process all the information of everyone everywhere at once and controlling it. All right, that's necessary, which is why they have AI. AI is like their angels. They can set them to a task and they'll just do it without any delay or without having to sleep, right? And that's what AI is for. AI is going to be the new taskmasters, all right? The sentinels. So AI is also everywhere, all right? This is part of the infrastructure. Now, if you're going to have these AIs, they're going to need computing power. So you got cloud computing, all right? You can look that up, and you also got machine learning. You also have what's it called, quantum computing, which gives you massive amount of processing power. Because if you've got all this information from the Internet of Things, you need massive amounts of processing power in order to process that in real time and make decisions. All right. So you got cloud computing, you got quantum computing. You can look that up. That's the infrastructure that's being rolled out right now. The information needs to travel. That's what the internet is for. No, not so the internet needs to be everywhere. So you've got things like 5G and soon 6G. And what is the key thing that separates 5G from 4G? The latency. All right. The 5G is 1 millisecond, 4G is 200 milliseconds. So you gamers out there understand why low latency is important when you're dealing with streaming and doing things live. All right. The lower the latency, the more you can deal in real time. And the system has to be a real time system. All right. Because remember, they're managing what people are buying and selling in real time. All right. They want to be able to react. Okay. So you got the 5G. They also got the Wi-Fi 6. And even more importantly, you got your Starlink. So what does your Starlink do? The scriptures speak about the unicorn. The way the internet moves is you have a cable network around the world, but the internet is actually truly global because of satellite. Now, Starlink allows for high speed internet to be available all around the world. So you can connect the whole world with high speed internet, again, which is necessary if you're going to have a worldwide technological motb system. All right, so Starlink is part of the program, which is why Elon Musk is part of that. And then you got, obviously you got the brain chips and all that too that he's running. All right, so Starlink is a very important part of the MOTB infrastructure. That's how you can have remote areas that is connected in with the system. Biometric digital ID. All right. The biometric people say, oh, you're gonna have biometrics, iris scans. Yeah, that's all gonna be part of it, but you're still gonna have a chip. All right, you're gonna have a chip, and you're also gonna have your biometric data, and it's gonna be a two-factor system. All right, biometric digital identity is a way to use biological characteristics to verify a person's identity online and increase security for users and company. Go down here. Digital identity refers to the digitized information that is used to identify an individual online. Um, it says according to the World Bank, which goes back into what again, buying and selling, finance. Countries extended full digital ID coverage to their citizens could unlock value equivalent to 3 to 30% of GDP by 2030. So they're pushing. Everyone's pushing for this digital ID right now because again, the digital ID is critical for the MOTB system. It goes hand in hand with the next part, which is your CBDC. And this is where the buying and the selling comes home. Your central bank digital currency, which isn't money, it's control. It's digital control. See, CBDC is programmable money. So you can actually run algorithms and program the money, all right, in real time. So you won't be able to buy this or you won't be able to buy that, or you can only buy from this and you can only buy from that. They can have complete control of how you operate in the world, what you can and can't do, what you can and can't access within this digital system, because everything's going to be pretty much digital and hooked into the system. All right, so if they say that you've done enough traveling for the day, they'll make it where you can't get access to leave your home, or you can't use a car, or you can't use a bike, because again, all these things are becoming digital now, right? Right, if it picks you up in a particular area, they'll send the drones to arrest you because you shouldn't be there. You should be at home. They can tell if you leave your home because your chip is interacted with your environment. You understand? All right, and all these things are going to cost you, and this is where the CBDC comes in. It can cost you to boil your kettle in real time. It can cost you in real time to turn your tap on and use water. And you got something called micro payments, which is what CBDCs allow, so that you can be charged for the slightest thing by the second or by the milliliter, or do you know what I'm saying? It's a massive system of control. But it all comes down to you put all these infrastructures together, but to get you tied into it, you gotta put that inside you, man, and that's what it is, right? The MOTB, the mark of the beast. All right, so you can research all those infrastructures that I just showed you, and you'll see that all these things are being rolled out rapidly in preparation for when they make that decree, when they bring crisis, and this will be the solution to that crisis. This will be the solution to the security crisis. This will be the solution to the border crisis. This will be the solution to medical crisis. This will be the solution to rationing and resource crisis. This will be the solution to everything. It's going to come down to, we need this full spectrum system of control and management. We need this. You can trust AI because AI are not people. You can't trust these politicians, but you can trust AI. Don't worry about your privacy. Only AI will be watching you. So John from next door is not gonna be signing into no computer and watching you 24/7. It's gonna be Alexa. Alexa will take care of you. This is where it's heading. All right, and we're very very close, because you see the chaos is increasing, and the more chaos they bring, the closer we are to them making that decree. All right, and that's why these other Israelite groups, they're struggling, because I mean, it's happening before our very eyes, man. In the end, it shall speak and it shall not lie. All right. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that to give you those points. You got to go do your research, man. Listen, the apostles taught me what the motb is, and I didn't just leave it there. The scripture says the simple believeth every word. That's why when Nate and IUCPK are talking about an embargo and all that stuff, they can fool their congregation, because them guys don't do no research. We don't just like fools listen to it's, you know, it's not a requirement for you to be a blind fool in this truth. Having faith doesn't mean you have to be a blind fool. Just because I respect the apostles and elders doesn't mean I don't do my own research, because the thing is, when you do your own research, you're not just a repeating monkey then. So if anyone comes up to me and tries questioning me on the motb, I'm not going to fall to pieces, because I understand it for myself. I've done the research for myself. It's different when someone just tells you something, then you don't really know what you're talking about. It's just the same thing as if you listen to me, oh, salvation is only for Israel. Oh yeah, because I said it is true. And you don't go and read the scriptures and find it out for yourself. When someone else comes and challenges it on you, you can lose that argument because you're not equipped. The scripture says, study to show thyself approved. A prudent man looketh well towards his going. So you need to go and look into these things. You need to go and look into these things for yourself. We'll give you certain information, but you got to go and do more groundwork for yourself. And that compounds your understanding, and it will compound your faith. All right. You got access to the physical Google, the Urim and the Thummim in the flesh, which isn't perfect, but it's got information on there. Go do the research and understand the things we're talking about. That's why we do the algorithms, to push you in the right direction. But then you take that and you run with it, just like we did. All right. So let's get Psalm 64. The important thing to understand is these infrastructures, they haven't been researched and developed and built naturally, or they have been researched and built to be part of this system. You know, to the average person, they look at it and they think that you know, these things are happening in isolation. They're not. It's a coordinated event from the top. All right, so let's get that real quick. All right, so Psalm 64:2 said, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Right, the secret counsel of the wicked represents these elites and their secret societies, which, you know, all these different heads of industry and heads of science and all these different things, they're all part of it. They're all part of it, man. And so they can fund and push the world in the direction that they want to push it in, and make it seem like it's natural or organic, but it's not. All right, they can make certain technologies come to the forefront, or defund certain technologies, and they never see the light of day. All right. Says, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter, and their evil matter is thinking that they can use their own wisdom, right, which is the knowledge of the occult and science, all right, to establish their own blessing in the earth, to establish their own kingdom of heaven for themselves, and put the sons of God into permanent servitude through that, right? To disannul the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, to cancel out the word of the Most High. Say they commune of laying snares privily, right? All this infrastructure that they building around is a snare, it's a trap. right? But they do it privately, so nobody knows it's a trap. They think it's for your own convenience. They think it's to make money, which it does make money. But Esau's ultimate goal isn't to make money. His ultimate goal is to have you under control. All right? It's not really about money. The money is just there as a tool. And it happens because they can make it happen that way. But ultimately, it's about control. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Right? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Because in order for all this infrastructure to be built, a lot of research had to be done over the last 100 years. Hardcore research to bring about these infrastructures and these things to where they are now. Diligently. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But God shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. All men shall fear and shall declare the work of God, for they shall wisely consider his doing. Yeah, because Yahweh Shai is going to come and mud stomp them. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. So that's the elect. The elect are not going to trust in Esau, Edom. They're going to trust in the Lord. And that's what it's going to come down to. When that motb in that hour of temptation is brought to the people that take it, they're going to take it because they trust in Esau and they trust in his word. And that's why they're getting all these people emotionally invested in politics and in these celebrities and in this system. They want you to be emotionally invested in it, because guess what? When you're emotionally invested in it, you're trusting in their system. You're trusting in them. You're not trusting in Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. You worship them. You worship the system. You worship the beast. All right? Whereas you're supposed to worship Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, which means you're obedient to his word. And he told you, don't worry about it. I'll take care of you. In life or in death, I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. Just don't take that chip. Simple as that. All right? So if that, I'm going to say shalom.